Welcome to Tutorials Point. In this video, we'll see an introduction to VBA, that is Visual Basic for Application. This is used for especially for Microsoft Office products like Excel, Word, PowerPoint and so on. But before jumping to VBA, let me try to tell you the difference between macros and VBA. So you can see here what is the difference here. Macro is basically a piece of code, okay, a set of instruction, you can say a subroutine, functions and so on. So these are set of instruction which are written into a VBA. Okay, so what exactly macro? It's a piece of code, whereas macros are written in the programming language VBA. VBA is nothing but Visual Basic for Applications. Okay, so I hope you understood the difference between VBA and the macros. So macros are part of coding, okay, it's a piece of code written into VBA language. Okay, now whereas Visual Basic for Applications, those applications stands for Excel, Word, PowerPoint and so on. These are different applications. These are MS Office applications. Okay, now what exactly is a VBA? VBA is basically an editor where you can keep on writing the macros, where you can keep on writing the softwares, the code itself, right? So this is an editor which is present into Excel, Word, PowerPoint, all the MS Office products. So let us see the next one. Now what is the difference between VBA, VB and VBS? These are three different terms. Now don't get confused between all of three. I'll try to explain you what is exactly VBA. The very first one, it stands VB. It's nothing but a standalone program that runs independently. That means you don't need any application to run that program itself. So VBA, it's a independent, that one. Second one is VBA. It is nothing but a part of Excel program. Without any application, VBA will not work. Okay, so VBA, Visual Basic for Application, it is a part of some object. Okay, it is a part of some application. So you can see VBA is a part of Excel program and it cannot work alone. So you need some application to work on that, right? And the third one is VBS. What exactly is VBS? It is nothing but Visual Basic Scripting language. So it is nothing but a variant of Visual Basic language which is specially used for internet applications. This one is used for the desktop based application. This one is used for internet based applications, right? So I hope you understood the difference. VBA, VB and VBS. These are three different languages again, right? So let's see next one. Why do we need macros? When we need the macros itself. In Excel, you might think there are so many functions, so many tasks to be done. There are approximately 300, 400 formulas, 300 to 400 different tasks which you can do. Then why do we need this macros? Macros are done to save your time. Suppose you are doing some repetitive task again and again and you're investing lot of time in that task. Why not, make a macro of it? Okay, so that is nothing but for repetitive task. Or else for sometimes you want to develop a new formula. Though there are many formulas inside the Excel, but suppose you want to create a own formula or own function, you can use this macro part. Or else if you want to do some complex task, let's say sorting, filtering, create a pivot table and so on. So that time you can use this macros part. So okay, so let's see the next one. What are the different names given for this macro? The first name, you can call it as a subroutine, you can call it as a procedure, you can call it as a program. If you are from IT background, coding part background, you call it as a code. So here you can call this as subroutine, procedure, program or macros, any one of them. Okay. So let's see the next one. What about the macros? Macros is basically an object oriented program. When I say an object, what exactly an object means? Inside Excel, Word, PowerPoint, anywhere if you go, everything is an object. In fact, Excel itself is an object. So let us see, in Excel, anything and everything is an object. When I say anything, everything, I mean it. I say as workbook, sheets, cells, chart, everything. So all these topics comes under this objects. So macro works only on this object itself. So without the objects, it cannot work. Okay, now what exactly is the object model in Excel? Okay, what exactly is the hierarchy of the objects? The very first thing is an application. It can be anything, Excel, Word, PowerPoint. But in this example, I have taken as Excel as an application. Inside Excel, you might have multiple workbooks, right? They might have multiple files itself. Inside one workbook, you might have multiple worksheets. Okay, and multiple worksheets might have all the four options. Okay, they can be more than that. What is that? It can have a range, it can have charts, controls, shapes and so on. There are many things to be discussed. So what I'm trying to say is this is nothing but the object hierarchy of the application itself. So whatever the objects are given, suppose you want to refer any charts, you have to call first the application, then workbook, then worksheet and then only you can call this charts. Independently you cannot call the charts alone itself, right? So these are the object hierarchy which is given. Okay, so I hope you're able to understand what is exactly a macro, difference between macro and VBA, difference between VBA, VBS and VB language, and so on. These are some object hierarchy models, right? I hope you have understood introduction to VBA. That's all for this video.